Hello again. Welcome to another tutorial for me. Today we're not going to be doing the SDL input tutorial because, for one, I'm having some issues with doing stuff with the gamepad. However, I'm thinking about probably pushing the key mapping stuff up, and I'm going to do it tomorrow. But today we're going to focus on Minecraft modding. For kind of a prequel for this video, I would suggest learning some Java, because I'm not going to be focusing on any kind of beginner Java stuff here. So you probably want to either go look at the New Boston or Google some tutorials for some Java tutorials online before you start these videos. So let's get started. First things first, you're going to need the JDK. I will be using JDK 64-bit Windows Edition, and it's going to be Java 7. I'm not using Java 8 yet because I think they're still working on it. Oracle has several different JDK versions you can use. The one I'm using is obviously going to be Windows because I'm using Windows 7. If you're using Linux, you can download the Linux version of it. There's one for Mac OS X, and if you have the money and the resources to afford Solaris, have at it. There's a JDK for that platform. The next thing you're going to need is going to be the Eclipse IDE. More specifically, the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. The reason why we're using Eclipse is that, for one, I'm very familiar with it. Number two, it's kind of the standard Minecraft IDE. However, there are some stuff for IntelliJ. For NetBeans, I'm not entirely sure. I'll do some reading on that later on. The next thing you're going to want is the recommended build of Forge. The version we're going to be using is 1563. The reason why I recommend downloading this is that this is the build that it's kind of like a finalized build from Forge. Right now they're working on the next 1.8 build, which is 1577, which is a snapshot. If you are doing testing, I would probably recommend the latest build, but if you want to have stable mod, go recommend it all the way. What you want from this is their NDK, and after you get done downloading that, we can move on. One more thing, I am also going to upload this tutorial on my GitHub. It's my MC Forge tutorial. I'm going to include a link at the bottom of the description so you can get the source code for this. As you can see, I already have some stuff on there. I've kind of did several iterations on the video, so this is going to change. Alright, so let's get started. First things we want to do is create a project folder for a mod. Let me get rid of this. And what we want to do is copy the Forge zip file into our project folder. Paste this, and we're going to close that. Open this. You can use whatever archiving archive program you want. I'm using 7-zip, so it's archive this, and there we go. The first thing we want to do is to open up a command line. If you're on Windows, you simply shift right click, and it will bring up a context menu with open command window here. The next thing you probably should open is the README, because this is where it will tell us how to set up the project. What we want to do first is set up a decompiled workspace. The reason why we want to do this is that, first off, a decompiled workspace allows us to look at the source code. And for example, if we want to make a faster furnace, we can look at how Minecraft does that, or how Forge handles stuff. So let's do that real fast. Gradle, setup, decomp, workspace. And it's going to configure. Yeah, sorry, this is taking a little while. What to do now? Come on, you can do it. There we go. Okay. The next thing we want to do is Gradle Eclipse. This will set up a Eclipse project for Minecraft Forge. So let's do this, Eclipse. And if you have IntelliJ, you should run the gen IntelliJ runs. This will set up an IntelliJ project. I don't see anything for NetBeans, so you might have to make a custom project for that. Oh, there we go. Alright, we don't need you anymore, and we don't need you. That's cool. Excuse me. So let's do a little bit of coding. We're gonna open up Eclipse. Let's browse for our workspace here, which is going to be located in your project folder. And we're going to open it. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of having a cold right now. Been kind of sick. So, first thing we want to do is to delete this package. This comes with every ForgeCraft. It's just an example mod to show how to load up and print off an ID to a grass block, but we don't need it here because we're going to do our own. And the first thing we're going to add is a package called com.mytutorial. There we go. Next thing we're going to need is a class that loads up the mod for us. I'm going to call it loader. It's just a standard convention I follow, because what you're doing with this class is simply loading up everything from your mod. So let's make the loader. Okay. We're going to need some statics here. One is for the mod ID. The next one is going to be for the name of the mod, which is going to show in the Minecraft menu, and we need a version. So this is going to be a public static final string, and we're going to name it ID, and it's just going to be simply my underscore tutorial. The next one is going to be public static final string name equals my tutorial, and the version is going to be the more complicated one, string version, for a simple reason, because it's going to be MC for Minecraft, and it's going to be 1.8 for the version, F for Forge, and it's 1563, and M for mod, and it's going to be 1. The reason why I'm doing it this way is that, for one, I want to make sure you're using the right Minecraft version, and I want to make sure that the right Forge version of it is used, and this one right here is just the mod version that we're working on, or the current build. So that's it for those. The next thing we're going to need is instance. And instance is actually, I'm going a little too far ahead. Let's mark this class as a loader class. So what we're going to need is an annotation called mod. Let's use the almighty Control-Shift-O to grab the dependency. Why we need this is to simply mark the loader class as the loader for our mod. We're going to need the ID, the name, and the version. And to set that up, we need to do it like this. Mod ID. And this is going to equal to our class's ID. ID. The next thing we're going to need is the name of the mod, which is loader.name, and version, which is going to equal to loader.version. There we go. What this mod annotation is doing is setting metadata for the ID, the mod's name, which is going to show when we load up Minecraft, and the version of the mod. The next thing we're going to need is the instance of the loader. So we're going to need an annotation called instance. What this does, it marks a public static method, which is going to be called loader, as an instance variable. And we're going to say new loader, set it to default. The reason why we're doing this, Control-Shift-O, the reason why we need this is that some functionality in Minecraft requires your mods a mod instance, and this is a simple, easy way to allow those methods in the in Forge to utilize instance. It's more for convenience. Alright, so now we technically have a mod. And if we start Minecraft, excuse me, it will load up our mod. Go. Let me turn down the music because it's loud, and let's go to mods. As you can see, my tutorial version MC18 F, and there we go. Before we continue, let me create a simple creative world, and it's going to be use a flat world with presents redstone ready. There we go. Alrighty. This is just going to be our little test world we're going to be using for the rest of this tutorial. And I'm Steve. Alright, save and quit. There we go. Alright. The last thing we want to do is to hook into Forge's initialization chain. And what we're going to need to do is create 3 methods. The first one is pre-init, the second one is init, and the third one is post-init. These methods will be executed in this order. So, for example, if you want to make an item, you don't want to register a recipe for that item if it hasn't been created yet, because it will give you a null point error. So, let's create these methods real fast. Public void pre-init, and we're going to pass this a FML pre-initialization event E. we go. Public void init fml initialization event e, and public void post init fml post initialization event e. And I spelled it wrong. Yay. It's probably a good thing I wasn't an English major. I would epically fail. And why are you still wrong? Initialization. There we go. All these methods are marked for each method call, and to insert these into Minecraft's event initialization event chain, we need to use a annotation called event handler. This marks these methods as part of the initialization chain. There's other ones too for certain parts of Minecraft, but we're not going to get into those because they're kind of advanced. So, to test this, what we want to do is, let's do some simple, I don't know, printls. This one is going to be hello from pre-init. Let's just copy pasta all those into there. This is init, and this is post init. So now, when we execute Minecraft, it should print off in our log here, and if everything is successful, we should see them. Yep, I already see pre-init right there. There's init, and there's post init. So success. We have it in the event loop. Alright, I think this pretty much covers our first tutorial on Minecraft Forge. I demonstrated how to getting started with Minecraft modding by downloading SDK, Eclipse, and Forge, the recommended version. And I've also demonstrated how to make a very simple yet useless mod load up. The next video, what we're going to cover is how to take advantage of the fact that Minecraft is both a server and client. How we're going to do that is with proxies. And we'll also make a simple item too. And then, so until then, you all take care and have a good day.